welcome to Super Bale Sews. My name's Sarah. Thanks for joining me today. It is Friday the 16th of May and I have some makes to show you. I've got some new fabric. I've got some pictures of previous makes to show you as well. So a few things to catch up on today. Sorry to not have seen you last week. I had finished making this dress at that point, but I hadn't had a chance to photograph it and I was just a bit short of time at the end of last week. So I thought I'd do a bumper episode for you today. So you will see, as discussed, my Fabric Godmother Peony dress. It is slightly altered. So you will see here, if you know the Peony dress, it has darts at the waist and in the skirt, and the skirt is quite sort of a slimmish fit. And I've made this dress previously and I didn't love that shape on me. I think it was a bit boxy. I just need a bit more sort of volume around the hips. So I added in a gathered skirt as well, which is really simple, just rectangles, don't bother with the darts, gather, you know the deal. And I'm really thrilled with how it's turned out. So I'll pop some pictures here of me wearing it. I made it for my friend's wedding, which was on Sunday. It was a really beautiful day. The bride looked gorgeous. The weather was lovely. And the venue was really, really nice. And I was chuffed with this, to be honest. And if you haven't made the Peony before, I was quite scared the first time I made it because I heard a lot about issues with the fit. So I took some time to twirl it. I'm not very good at twirling normally, but I have got a pretty good fit. And I only did one twirl. I know a lot of people had said that they had to do multiples. I don't know if that's just because I'm less of a perfectionist or if I just got lucky. I did a full bust adjustment basically and I had to grade between the bust and the waist measurements, but that was it. And yeah, it's a really nice fit. It's got some nice details here. Mostly the thing I love the most, I like the general fit. I think is very nice. There are lots of darts. There are darts, there are bust darts, there are waist darts in the front and the back. In the back there are also shoulder darts. And if you have the skirt, there are darts in the front and the back of the skirt as well. So it's, yeah, there's a lot of detail, but I do think the final effect is really nice. I think that the gathered skirt will become a general change for me moving forward because I just felt a lot better in the silhouette. This fabric is a bit lighter. It's actually, again, a viscose jacquard, which is what my first version was in, but this is really lightweight. I'm a bit scared to put it in the wash because it's so delicate, but I'm going to, maybe I'll hand wash it, I don't know, but the fabric, lovely. It's a bit slippery, but it was okay. It was okay. You'd probably want some experience of working with viscose. Inside the shoulders, you have this couture technique, which is these little shoulder puffs. You can't really see them very well here, but I was worried they wouldn't do anything at all. They don't look great on my mannequin because there's a split at the shoulders, so it doesn't fully hold them up. But when you wear it, the fabric's quite light. I used the same fabric and it gave just enough. I mean, you can see it better here. Just enough of a sort of puff to give it a bit of shape, even in that light fabric. So if you wanted something more dramatic, you could very easily put a sturdier fabric inside because you obviously don't see it. Yeah, so really pleased with that. And then I'm also wearing another new dress that I finished after this one, and this is my second iteration of the Willow dress. So I will put some pictures of that in here as well. The Willow dress is a pattern by Cinnamon Daisy. Now at the moment, she only has a few patterns. So there's an adult Willow, there's a Willow, like a girl's size Willow, there's a skirt and there's a bow. And they're all very lovely. This is the only one I've made, but the first Willow dress I made, I loved. And that was in a stretch cotton fabric. And this is a viscose linen. It's an exclusive Minerva print. It's very, very nice print, I think you'll agree. And I was going back and forth on what to make, and I just thought, just make another Willow, because I love the Willow. So I have, as you'll see from the pictures, again, it's very pretty, comes together really nicely. The only change from my first one is that I made the puff sleeves this time instead of the flutter sleeves, and I love them both. Instructions really easy, fittings easy because the ties at the waist. The neckline is pretty. I did mean to make the neckline higher on this one, and I was so eager cutting out that I forgot. So on the next one, I'm just going to raise the neckline a bit just to at the back, just because it's nice and high here, but I would rather have a slightly higher back so I can wear this in school, or that I can wear my next Willow in school. But it's a really fab pattern, and I feel very accomplished getting 2 really nice dresses made up in 1 week. I'm quite chuffed about that. This one is more of like a daytimey summer dress. Obviously, this one's a bit more special occasion. I think if I wore this into school, everyone would be like, why is the dress so fancy today? But yeah, a couple of really nice dresses. So I'm feeling very pleased with that. Now, in terms of what I have to work on next, making the phone wobble. In terms of what I have to work on next, I have a couple of gifts to make, just small like kids' clothes gifts that I need to get on top of. And I have some subscription box things that I need to get on top of as well. And then I will be sort of up to date and I can really start thinking about my summer sewing plans and what I want to be making. So I'm going to say excuse me in advance if you hear some weird noises. Nala is in and out and panting and scratching and barking and all sorts of things. Right, so I've had some fabric deliveries this week. Some of you will remember that I made a dress for the Jenny Stitches blog, and in return, so she sends us everything to make the garment, and then she also sends us a voucher for the shop. And I decided this time, it's very unlike me, to buy a fabric. Now I'm going to say it's plain, but I mean, I don't think it's really plain. It's got a pattern on it, but it's all the same colour, if that makes sense. And it's this lovely black broderie. Now you can see the light coming through there. I'll see if you can see the pattern if I hold it to the light a bit more. Do you see the sort of like a leaf? Gosh, it's really difficult to get this so you can see it. I don't know if you can see it maybe here. There's a sort of leaf design. Yeah, which I thought was pretty. And I sort of love the idea of making a black summer dress. So in a fabric that's breathable. But obviously, I've seen some that look really chic. I don't normally go for black, but I just thought that was something where there was maybe a hole in my wardrobe. We have a fairly new head of department at my school, the school that I teach at a few days a week. And she's very keen on everyone wearing black to certain events. So I thought, oh, it would be good to have something for summer that I can wear to a work event or a concert or whatever, so that I just sort of blend in a bit, but that I still feel nice. So that's what I purchased that for. And then I could not resist a couple of fabrics from Sew Me Sunshine. It was mainly one that got me going, and then I just got another one for another project. So the one that I was really excited by is this Deadstock Seersucker with it's got little dogs and anchors on. Now this is a Lauren Deadstock. I found it was a men's shirt that it was used for, this fabric, and I just thought it was really cute. And I think I probably will make a shirt, but also there's a blouse called I think it's called the Gracie Wrap Top or something, and that I bought a while ago and haven't made. And I think this would be sort of cute in that as well. I think because of the seersucker, it will hold the volume in the sleeves quite nicely. So that I think is going to be lovely. And then I also bought some simple striped cotton. My plan for this is also from Sew Me Sunshine, is to make a shirt dress with a view of making a sort of wearable toile version, which I can then tweak for the Dolce & Gabbana Deadstock fabric that I showed you a couple of videos ago, because I just don't want to go straight into that until I'm fully confident of which pattern I'm going to use and any tweaks I'm going to make for the design. So I thought this would be a good fabric to have a practice on. So yeah, some really nice deliveries. I'm trying to slow down on the shopping again. It's amazing. It's a slippery blooming slope, isn't it? There's just too many nice fabrics everywhere. And yeah, I need to get on with sewing some stuff. So yeah, those are my deliveries. Made a couple of things. The one other thing I was going to mention was on Instagram, you may have seen an account called Destash for Palestine. And this is where you can sell your items that you want to destash, and then you donate part of the proceeds to a Palestine related cause, and either you can pick one or they can recommend some to you. And I've been planning to do a little destash when we got back into the house, but I'd actually been looking at a few fabrics I had here and thinking, well, maybe I do a destash now and then I can do another bit later when I'm reunited with my sort of in storage fabric. And I've got some really nice stuff that I'm looking to put on there. So I would encourage you, if you like a bargain, to take a look at the Destash for Palestine Instagram account, because there's been some really good stuff on there. It's not all fabric, there's patterns, there's some people are selling clothes that they've actually made. Obviously with that, there's some beautiful stuff on there actually, but it's dependent on it being in the right size for you. But definitely worth a look. And some of the fabric, so I have a mix, but I'm thinking of, well, no, I've decided that I'm going to put in the Fabric Godmother Joni prints. This is the cotton lawn in the lighter colourway, which I absolutely loved when I bought it. And I've not made it into anything. And the more I look at it, the more I'm like, it just doesn't suit where my head's at in terms of what I'm making. I say that, sat here dressed head to toe in florals with like florals right behind me. But yeah, I just was looking and I was like, I just don't feel inspired by it anymore. And I know someone else will give that a really good home. So that is going to be on there, and it will be on there for obviously cheaper than you could buy it new. It has been pre-washed. That's the only thing, but otherwise it just is what it is. And then I also have some lovely cotton. It's actually Stuff of Denmark print. It's a light pink colour with suns and moons on. I did make a dress for my goddaughter in this. I initially bought it planning to make myself pyjamas, and I knew at the time, I was like, it's not really my colour, but the design's super cute. And again, I was just looking at it on the shelf and I was like, there'll be someone out there who can give that a better home than I can. I'm trying to be very, previously I think I found it hard to let fabric go if I love it, even if I don't actually think I'm going to make it. But those two were jumping out at me. And I have a few more fabrics put aside that I'm going to be taking nice pictures of and sending off to them. They are doing a drop every Wednesday at the moment, so take a look and see what's left on there if you haven't already. And I'm hoping mine might be in maybe next week's drop. So if you would like the Joni, or you might like to get a bargain on some Stuff of Denmark jersey, then keep an eye out. Obviously, the money is all going to a really good cause. So yeah, I would just recommend you take a look. That's it from me anyway. I hope that you are doing really well. Oh no, you've reminded me of another thing. Swimwear. Now I've mentioned swimwear a few times. I'd come to this conclusion that I was going to make the Megan Nielsen Cottesloe in the curve range because it's quite a nice simple shape, and I thought that would be a good place to start. Now, I have recently read some reviews of this pattern on Instagram, and they have not been good in the curve size range. The drafting is apparently really off in like the legs. The leg holes are really enormous, and the fit just isn't great. And I think I need to go for something that's fairly well drafted. Like, I don't mind adjusting a bit, but do you know what I mean? It's like there are parameters. And I think it would be enough to really put me off if I go in with a pattern that's just a mess. Not saying that the pattern is a mess, but in terms of fit, I think sometimes there's a bit of confusion over curve blocks. And Megan Nielsen, I haven't seen loads of their curve, like they have quite a few curve patterns, but I've not seen loads of them made up by sort of curvy sewists on Instagram. And that always makes me wonder. I mean, there are other reasons for that sometimes, but I feel much more confident buying a pattern if I've seen examples of people making it who are like more my shape or size. So yeah, so I'm now on the lookout for something else. I've got the Ipswich swimsuit, which is by Cashmerette. And I know the fit on that will be good because it's Cashmerette and the fit's always good, but it's quite a complicated swimsuit. So there's part of me that's like, oh, I just want to try something that's really simple, but I would just like it to fit like vaguely okay. Yeah, so if you're a curvy gal and you have I would like tried and tested swimwear patterns, because when I look on, obviously on the model pictures, the fit looks good, but if the reality of people sewing it up is not that, then I would rather sort of know that. So I think if I could work out a good base, then I could work the rest out from there. You know, you can mix and match other pattern pieces and things. But if anyone has made a swimwear pattern they've loved, the one that's come up a few times is the Helen's Closet one. I can't remember what it's called. Is it the Sandpiper swimsuit or something, which has quite a nice high neck, and I think comes in like bikini as well, or tankini or something. But yeah, I'm really getting that itch to make swimwear now, but the reviews I saw in the last week or two have really put me off. So yeah, just got to find the right thing, but I'm struggling, guys. There were some great suggestions in terms of design features the other week. And I think those are things that once I've made a really simple swimsuit and I've got a bit of an idea of sort of how the fabric works and rough ideas about a very basic fit, then those are the sort of patterns that I will be going to make something a bit more detailed. But I'm just trying to find something that's like bog standard just to get used to it. And then when I've got a very basic fit, then I can go through all of the fun ones that have all the details. But yeah, so as ever, if you have recommendations, let me know. Also, let me know what you're sewing this weekend. I was about to say swimming this weekend. What you're sewing this weekend. Are we fully in summer mode, even though it's rained all day today? Not today. Sorry, I'm filming this on Tuesday, so it has rained all day today. Or are we still sewing cozy things? I think I'm pretty much in summer mode now. Oh, and one other thing. Sorry, I'm terrible at this. I'm remembering things all the time. I have taken pictures of my Junko jacket. Junko? Which I'm going to pop here for you. They're not the most glamorous pictures in the world, but they give you a better idea of the fit. As I said, I'm really pleased with it. I think it'll work quite well for the weather like this because it's sort of warm but not super wintry, so you can just chuck it on if things get a bit chilly. And yeah, really pleased that apart from the pockets being too small, I think overall that was a good make. So a few things to mention in terms of gifted items in this vlog. This fabric was gifted in return for an honest review by Minerva. It is their exclusive, one of their, oh my gosh, the light has just gone crazy. It is one of their exclusive prints on a viscose linen fabric. And also my Junko jacket, that was gifted, the pattern as well. Again, in return for an honest review. And I think that's it. I paid for everything else. Oh, the Jenny Stitches was part purchase with a voucher. And yeah, anyway, I've blabbered on for longer than intended. Classic, standard. I hope you're really well. As I said, let me know what you're sewing and I'll catch up with you soon. All right, take care. Bye.